quite surprised because it sounded like Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumors of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
Promoter Eddie Hearn has starkly cautioned Jake Paul about the dangers of fighting Gervonta Davis. He warned that Paul could suffer serious, even devastating consequences, saying, "Be careful what you wish for." Hearn called the bout a mismatch and raised concerns over Paul's safety, while acknowledging the fight's massive commercial appeal and rating its chances of happening as 50-50. His underlying message remained clear. In this fight, Paul risks far more than just his record. In Hearn's view, his very well-being is on the line.
I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think that's the only reason we're going to see this fight. But I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of 2026.
Daniel Cormier delivered a measured yet critical response to Jake Paul's decision to face Davis. He acknowledged Paul's promotional prowess and growing legitimacy, admitting, "I respect Jake Paul today," while praising how he has built himself to the point where Netflix repeatedly partners with him. Still, Cormier couldn't ignore the glaring mismatch in size. He emphasized that Davis is the superior boxer but underscored the stark weight difference. Davis weighed around 133.8 pounds in his last bout, while Paul fights near 200 pounds. Cormier warned that if Davis wins, it could completely derail Paul's momentum. Yet the same danger applies to Davis, who risks serious embarrassment fighting someone so much bigger.
When a disruptor challenges a legend, guys, anything can happen. When a kid that was on YouTube and on Disney walked in there and said, "I'm going to be a professional boxer," Jake Paul needs to be commended for that. He had a vision, and he honestly executed that vision better than anyone ever could have expected. But sometimes you want something so badly that you don't recognize the dangers that come with wanting that thing and then getting that thing. Now Jake Paul has gotten himself to a point where he's fighting someone that could truly, truly end his career. Mike Tyson. We're talking about one of the scariest, most dangerous fighters to ever step foot in the squared circle. For me, it's pretty simple. Jake Paul, in the Mike Perry fight, he got a great appetizer for what he will get in the main event. A fighter that starts very fast, that throws things to take your head off, and you have to kind of match the intensity to ultimately get your shots off. Jake Paul today announced that he has signed with the PFL.
The PFL.
A couple weeks ago, Jake Paul and I were messaging each other about an appearance on my show, DC and RC. Just kind of talking about his future. And honestly, Jake and I have had some run-ins. When I started talking to him and I'm messaging him, he's a kid that's very respectful. And we had respectful conversations. He has an idea what he wants to do. Now, these kids today are different, right? So he's very boisterous, he's very verbal, he speaks big. But will Jake Paul actually fight in the PFL? A lot of boxers say they're going to fight, but they never actually do. Here's the thing about Jake Paul, though. He's from Ohio. Ohio has some of the best high school wrestling. Jake Paul was a high school wrestler there. So was his brother Logan. They weren't bad. I believe this one, he'll actually fight.
Former super middleweight champion Carl Froch has issued a stern warning about the safety risks of the Paul versus Davis exhibition, highlighting an estimated 65 pounds weight gap. Paul typically fights at around 200 pounds, while Davis competes at 135 pounds. Despite Davis's superior skill, Froch warned that Paul's size and unorthodox power present a real threat. He won't be used to being hit like that. Froch's concerns reflect widespread unease within boxing circles. Many see this less as a competitive bout and more as a freak show, with legitimacy and fighter safety in serious question.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself. And the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proved time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, I he does so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, who's a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title.